My mom bought a condo near the university for my brother and me. But the moment I brought my best friend over for one night, my brother's girlfriend blew up. "You're already freeloading here with your brother every single day. And now you're bringing friends back? Have you no shame?" Without a word, I dragged her suitcase out of my room and threw it into the hallway. "Listen. If you ever manage to set foot in this house again, it'll be because I've failed. My twin brother, Caleb, and I ended up at the same university. It wasn't far from home. Just an hour's drive. And since the campus was right by the coast, our parents decided to buy a spacious 3-bedroom condo in a building nearby. It was for our convenience. And they'd sometimes drive down for a weekend stay. The dorms on campus weren't great. But I was a social person and got along well with my 3 roommates. So I chose to live there. I only crashed at the condo occasionally. Today, after lunch in the cafeteria, I had a sudden urge to check on the place. The semester was more than halfway over, and I hadn't been back once. The condo my parents bought is close to campus. Just a 15-minute walk. Standing outside the door, I confidently punched in the code Caleb and I had set together. To my surprise, it beeped incorrect password twice. Confused, I called Caleb. He sounded nervous when he answered. "Aren't you living in the dorm? Why the sudden visit today?" My tone soured. "What? I can't come to my own home now? Why did you change the keypad password?" "Chloe. Don't be mad. We're in the elevator. Coming up right now. I'll explain when I get there." Only when Caleb came rushing down the hall did I understand what he meant by we. Standing beside him was a girl with a full face of makeup. She was pretty, but her expression was blank and cold. Even seeing me, her face remained sour, as if my very presence was an unwelcome interruption. Caleb scurried over, looking embarrassed. "Chloe. This is Lily. She's my new girlfriend. She's been living here with me." Fantastic. My own brother had a girlfriend. And they were living together in our condo. I go to the same school and I had no idea. "Lily. This is my sister, Chloe. She goes to our school too." Lily finally glanced at me and muttered a detached, "Hey." As it turned out, the password had been changed to Lily's birthday. The reason? Lily complained that the original code was too complicated for her to remember. I was speechless. Why should our family's security code be changed just because she couldn't remember it? But since it was our first meeting, I decided to hold my tongue. It wasn't until I walked inside that I realized the password was the least of it. The real shocker was that my brother had swapped our rooms. When my parents first bought the condo, my dad had insisted I take the master bedroom with the ensuite bathroom. I was the girl, and it would be more convenient. But now, the room that was supposed to be mine was filled with a stranger's clothes. I scanned the room, then walked into the bathroom and almost laughed out loud from anger. The collection of skincare products I'd stocked here were all empty. I didn't need a crystal ball to know who had used them. Changing my password. Taking my room. Using my things. Wasn't this girl a little too comfortable? Noticing my displeasure, Caleb approached me like a guilty puppy. "Chloe. I'm so sorry. Lily and I have been staying in your room. But you barely come home during the semester. And I figured such a big room shouldn't go to waste." He kept trying to smooth things over. But Lily just sat on the living room couch, eating fruit as if she owned the place. showing no remorse for taking my room or using my things. I forced a smile and said to Lily, "Next time you use up all the skincare, please give me a heads up. I'll bring some more from my dorm. Otherwise, what am I supposed to use tonight?" At this, Lily finally looked up, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Sorry, Chloe. If you're really that worried about a few samples, I'll just have Caleb buy you new ones." I was floored. After I vented to my 3 roommates, they all urged me to move back into the condo for a while. Who moves into someone else's house and changes the locks to their own birthday? She took your room, used your stuff, and acts like she's entitled to it all. That's insane. One said. "Chloe, if you don't move back in, she's going to start thinking that house belongs to her and Caleb. And you have nothing to do with it." Another added. That was all it took. I packed my suitcase and moved back into the condo that very night. It was only after I moved back that I realized Caleb had picked up a part-time job. To be honest, the $1,500 monthly allowance our parents gave us was more than enough. I had to buy makeup and skincare. And I still had money left over. Caleb didn't smoke or drink. So why did he need to work? I decided to ask him about it that evening. He finally came home at 11:30 p.m. carrying a durian. "Chloe, you're still up?" he asked. Surprised. But then he smiled. The convenience store where I work had durian on sale. "I know you love it. So I grabbed one for you." Caleb has always been sweet-tempered and considerate. As I ate the fruit he'd prepared for me, I asked, "Are you that short on money? Why are you working?" "I have to." He sighed, slumping onto the couch, looking exhausted. The new iPhone 15 just came out, and Lily's been bugging me to get it for her. She's my girlfriend. I have to get her what she wants. All I could do was respect his decision. The next day, I was in class when I got a text from Lily. Usually, it's the sister who spends money on the brother. You, on the other hand, have the nerve to eat a durian your brother bought for you. Do you know how expensive that is? It's not easy for Caleb to earn money. If you really cared about him, you wouldn't let him buy you things anymore. I almost laughed out loud. Now I wasn't even allowed to have my own brother buy me a piece of fruit. I knew Caleb was stuck in the middle. And I could tell he was crazy about this girl, following her every command. I tried to tolerate it. But the real explosion with Lily happened when I brought my roommates home for one night. It was my roommate's birthday, and the 4 of us went to a club to celebrate. By the time we got back, it was past midnight and the campus dorms were locked. I suggested we all crash at my condo. My roommate, Maya, said nervously, "I don't know. Chloe, won't your brother's girlfriend get mad?" Her concern was sweet, but the question itself set me off. It was the house my parents bought for us. Why should I have to worry about my brother's girlfriend's feelings? On my insistence, my 3 friends followed me home. We'd all had a few drinks, but my friends were considerate. Knowing it was late and that Caleb and Lily were asleep, they were as quiet as possible. We slept peacefully through the night. The next morning, as soon as I stepped out of the bedroom, I was met by a furious Lily. She looked ready to interrogate me. "Chloe, what is wrong with you? It's bad enough that you're always here freeloading. But now you're bringing your friends back to spend the night? Do you have any sense of decency? That was it. My friends were standing right there. And she had the audacity to throw those words in my face. If I let this slide, I'd deserve to be walked all over. I said nothing. I turned. Walked into my bedroom. Grabbed her suitcase. And started stuffing her clothes into it. Then, I shoved it out the front door and threw it into the hall. The latch wasn't closed. And her clothes spilled everywhere. Have I been too nice to you these past few days? I pointed to the door. My voice calm but firm. Get out. You are no longer welcome in my home. Lily was clearly stunned. After a moment, she sneered. Who do you think you are? Let me tell you something. Chloe. Your brother is the only male heir in your family. Everything in this house will be his one day. Once you're married, you'll be an outsider. Who are you to tell me to get out? I was gobsmacked by her words. I couldn't believe someone my age could say something so dated and greedy. She wasn't even part of the family yet. And she was already claiming our property. I laughed. Honey. From this moment on, if you manage to take one more step inside this house, it's my failure. And if you actually end up marrying into our family, I'll admit defeat. I could see she was shaking with anger. I glanced at her. Are you still here? Or do I need to call security? I'm leaving. Lily snarled. I'll be waiting for you to beg me to come back. Chloe. We'll see about this. Slam. I shut the door hard. Fuming. I opened our family group chat and typed out exactly what had just happened. Sending it to the four of us. My mom replied instantly. Caleb has a girlfriend? Since when? Why didn't that brat ever mention it? My dad got straight to the point. They're living together? Is he prepared to be responsible for that girl? They just moved in together like that? Then he laid down the law. Brat. We're not against you dating. But look at who you're dating. How dare she call your sister an outsider? If you want to stay with her, fine. Pack your things and move out today. From now on, this condo belongs to your sister alone. You figure it out. My parents dominated the chat. My brother never appeared. I tried calling him, but he didn't pick up. It was already past midnight. A time when Caleb was usually back from his part-time job. But he was nowhere to be seen. Fall is the rainy season. Outside, thunder rumbled as the rain that had been falling all day continued. A chill blew in through an open window. And I shivered. A pang of regret hitting me. Maybe I should have handled this privately with Caleb instead of dragging our parents into it. Just then, the lock beeped. I turned to see Caleb walk in. Soaked to the bone from not having an umbrella. I grabbed some tissues and walked over to him. Where have you been? I called you. He didn't speak. But I was sure he'd seen the family chat. My parents had been tearing into him all afternoon. He had to be upset. I started dabbing his wet hair with the tissues, trying to figure out how to console him. But he pulled away, looking up at me with eyes full of resentment. Chloe. Did you have to do that to Lily? I froze. He continued. Even if you didn't want her living here, did you have to kick her out in this weather? I was so shocked I actually laughed. It was the first time my brother, who I'd barely ever fought with, was yelling at me over a girl. You're blind to the things she said to me? She's the one who doesn't know her place. And now it's my fault? This is my house. Do I need to check the weather forecast before I kick a stranger out? It's your house. But isn't it my house too? Don't I have a right to be here? Caleb's voice rose with emotion. I know you look down on Lily. That you hate that she's from a small town. But it's not like our family are millionaires. What gives you the right to be so arrogant? Do you have any idea how much you humiliated her? She's been crying all day and now she has a fever. Her family might not have as much money as ours. But she was raised as their precious daughter. She's never been treated like this before. With that, Caleb pushed past me. I just came back to grab some things. Lily's waiting for me at a hotel. When had I ever looked down on Lily because of her background? I did know about her family's financial situation. But was that why I was against them being together? No. It was because Lily assumed everything in our family would belong to her and Caleb. It was because she lived in the condo my parents bought for us and then accused me of having no shame. The problem was with her character. After our fight, Caleb and I didn't speak for 2 days. He never came back to the condo. A few days later, I ran into them at the cafeteria. The moment Lily saw me walk in, she immediately looked away. Then deliberately turned to Caleb and whined that she wanted to eat the ribs off his plate. Caleb, however, looked guilty when he saw me. He quickly stood up, his tone pleading. Chloe, what do you want to eat? I'll get it for you. I didn't say anything. He kept trying. Come on. Don't ignore me. I was wrong the other day. Tell me what you want. I'll buy it. Anything. It'll be my apology. Okay? I still didn't answer. Just then, my phone rang. It was my dad. I walked away to take the call. As I did, I could faintly hear Lily's annoyed voice. Why are you buying her food? Doesn't she have her own money? Why is she always spending yours? A single lunch isn't that expensive. For my birthday, my sister bought me a pair of sneakers that cost more than a month's worth of lunches. I don't care. Lily snapped, pulling Caleb back as he tried to get up. This isn't about the money. She has hands and feet. Why do you have to get it for her? And what was with that wheedling tone just now? It's so weird. You're both adults. Can't she act her age and have some boundaries? Babe, can we please not do this? Caleb pleaded. I'm just buying my sister lunch. What's so weird about that? The cafeteria was noisy, but I could still make out their argument. A moment later, Lily stormed off in a huff. Lily! Caleb called after her. Then turned to me in a panic. Lily's still not feeling well. I need to take her to get her shot. I can't buy you lunch today. Here. Use my meal card. Get whatever you want. He shoved his card into my hand and ran after her. It was clear Lily had him wrapped around her finger. Maybe it was because this was his first relationship. Or maybe he was just a love-struck fool. But he was completely under her control. After I kicked her out, Caleb moved out too. They rented an apartment together in the same complex. I don't know if Lily did it just to spite me. But they rented a unit in the same building. Sometimes I'd run into her in the elevator. She seemed incredibly pleased with herself for convincing my brother to move out with her. Chloe, how does it feel knowing your own brother won't stand by you? She'd taunt with a smirk. Caleb was willing to leave that condo for me. It must hurt every time you go home. Right? By the way, Your brother paid for our new apartment all by himself. He even had to sell those sneakers you gave him to make the deposit. I hope you're not mad, sis. Hurt? I was so hurt I couldn't believe it took me that long to kick them out. She couldn't possibly imagine the joy of living alone. Lily's face darkened. You're so shameless. That condo was obviously bought for your brother. Don't give me that nonsense about your family not favoring sons. I've never seen a family that doesn't. You're just benefiting from his good fortune. If I hadn't let you stay there, you think you'd be living so comfortably? Wow. She talked about my family's property as if she were generously letting me use it. Did she think she was some kind of saint? My parents eventually found out that Caleb had moved out. The next day, my dad drove to our city and called Caleb, telling him to bring Lily home for dinner. This made Lily incredibly arrogant, acting as if meeting the parents was a surefire sign of approval. At the dinner table, Lily completely shed her usual aggressive demeanor. She was sickeningly sweet to my parents. Halfway through the meal, my dad suddenly pulled out a car key in front of everyone. Your mom and I actually drove 2 cars down. This new one I just picked up for you. It's parked downstairs. You can go check it out later. Lily's eyes lit up instantly. She nudged Caleb's arm. Caleb, look how good your dad is to you. Take the keys. When she saw the BMW logo, her eyes filled with unconcealed greed. In her mind, if our parents bought a car, it was obviously for Caleb. And what belonged to Caleb belonged to her. As everyone watched, my dad slowly placed the car keys into my hand. Lily's expression froze. She stared as my dad smiled at me. Now that our baby girl has a car, it'll be so much more convenient for you to get around. I took the keys. Thanks, Dad. For my very own sports car. I love it. Lily's hands clenched into fists. She couldn't resist speaking up. Uncle, you got this car for Chloe? I thought it was for Caleb. Caleb is a boy. He's tough. He doesn't need to worry about a little rain or sun. What does he need a car for? My mom chimed in casually. Lily, I heard from Chloe that you and Caleb were living here for a while, but just moved out a couple of days ago. Yes, Auntie. Chloe often brings friends home. Several at a time. It got a little crowded, so Caleb and I decided to move out to give them space. Lily said, her tone gentle but her words dripping with insinuation. I heard you and Uncle bought this condo for Caleb. You should really talk to Chloe. We don't mind her living here, but it's such a new place. Why would she bring all those outsiders here? My dad picked up his teacup, blew on the steam, and took a sip before speaking. Lily, there's something you should know. This condo is registered under Chloe's name only. She has complete control over it. She could tear the place down if she wanted to, and no one could say a thing. As for you and Caleb, we don't object to you dating. We'll even prepare a marital home for him when you graduate. As long as you can accept that besides that one house, all other family assets will be left to his sister. At this, Lily's face completely changed, her expression twisting into a mask of disbelief. Uncle, you must be joking. Right? Caleb is your son. That's right, my dad said, his face a perfect picture of nonchalance. Our family is matriarchal. Isn't it obvious?